Ain't no fear in my eyes. Used to fly in the sky, now I'm down on the rise. Switched gears, changed sides, found a new rhythm to ride. An aerospace pilot, ground shaking, that guy now die. With my team by my side, we're unstoppable force. Pilots of the future with power and remorse. Every step we take, the ground beneath trembles. Machines of war. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Gun raptor launch. In the steel skies we dance like lightning in the rain. United as one, never stands in our way. Pilots of the future will conquer all the strife. We bring the thunder, rulers of this new life. Neck desert clash, metal screeches and screams. The missiles begin to rain. Standing victorious and alive, the stadium erupts in a loud cry. Gun Raptor is now alive.
Hello everyone, this is Gunraptor, and I'm here with lots of friends from MGSq and other units to take a look at the 1v1 event queue for medium mechs here in MWO. With us we've got Cherglue, Traitor, Bluto, Dark Fem, Jeremiah Youngblood, Poncho, and last but not least, Savage. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 And I need to make sure everyone's audio is working correctly. Jeremiah Youngblood. Okay. Well, I think all the audio is correct. It looks like it's coming through. So, yes, we're going to get going on some MWO 1v1 action, and also a review of every single medium mech and how to use it in Solaris 7.
Or at least its viability, because there are some that
There are some that just
might
can't.
not, that might be better suited for quick play.
Yes.
Or in the case of the assassin. Oh no, I'm not going to go there.
Oh god. Yes, my favorite mech is probably the worst mech in the game. Anything that it can do, the Cicada, the Vulcan, or the Viper can do just better. Or the Arctic Wolf.
Cicada, no.
I don't know.
PPFLD? The Cicada M definitely does it better. ERPPC
Yeah, but assassins
Pop-Tart?
can brawl pretty well. Cicadas can't.
Yes, but a Viper can brawl better. A Vulcan can brawl better. Like, there is nothing that the assassin can do that something else can't do better. That's just a fact of life for anyone whose favorite mech is the assassin.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
But the question
do
is it in
anything
the same
better than you.
tonnage, though? Because sometimes you're
Yeah, all
restricted
40
by
tonners.
tonnage.
All 40 tonners.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's why I'm always so salty about the Cauldron giving no love to the assassin, except for that rather nice little buff up they gave to the Assassin 21 recently. But
Yeah, the range buff on the 21 was pretty
yeah,
high.
but they're being cowards about the Assassin DD, and they won't give it the AC2 perks that everyone wants it to have. Like, you'll get everyone trying to give every excuse possible not to give it that. Like
I
saying,
do
oh look,
say
you can
that
give
the-
it, you can make it a Pop-Tart by doing such and such and giving it an XL 225 and blah blah blah. And it's like, that's not what we want to use it for.
Jerk.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll save that for when we get to the assassin. Um, Chair, shall I just go ahead and go over to your screen now, or uh, should we do some 1v1s first?
Well, I was doing some warm-up 1v1s, and I am finding very, very quickly that they are doing a leg day check. So, for those of you going in, don't shave leg armor.
Yeah, yeah, this is not the day to skip leg day.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's starting
yes.
to a lot of medium mechs are very much able to close the distance, and when you start going up against runners, you start aiming for legs. And that's just a habit for some people as well to just go for legs, especially during duels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. Going for legs on duels, they'll always face you, like 50% of the time. And
Yeah.
it's just also easy for faster mechs to be stalemate. And they can't dodge if they can't run.
Yeah.
So, unlike heavies, which was Orion o'clock, we are thankfully going to see both some things that are better and also a bit more stale compared to heavies. I mean assaults. You're going to see a lot more mechs that are running around. I'm going to go through the store now, by
Yeah,
the way,
okay,
if you'd
here,
like.
let me go ahead and move the screen over to you. Do do do. Stand by.
There are a few factors
Hold
to
on,
take
hold
into
on.
consideration. Oh, I
And
figured I'd show
okay,
the
you now
transition
have
better.
the screen. So,
All right.
yes, Glue, take it away.
There are a few factors to consider, which heavily limit the usage of things such as ultra as an example, the Quad Proto 2 Nova Omni is a thing. It exists and it is surprisingly good. The problem, and might even come out to play in Boreal. The problem is that the Arctic Wolf 1 and even more so the Ice Ferret Juliet just exist. The fact that these exist and can run you down and you don't have an Orion level of structure means that you don't get the uptime really needed to pulverize your opponents. The reduction in open tonnage for weaponry, and especially the heat efficient ballistics, and the increase in speed means that a lot of fights are going to wind up being brawl. That being said, Boreal might still be able to pull out a few ballistics, but or a few of those more mid-range receives or longer range receives, but we'll get to those in a bit. Starting off with the Arctic Wolf. This is actually another one. I'm going to just start with that one. The Omni Arctic Wolf is entirely possible to see some success in Boreal with the Press S for Success ATM Arctic Wolf. As they on Boreal and Steiner, if you can get them to back off enough, you might be able to kill them, but you have to get the vision on them. It might be pretty iffy, but you do get. I think there is an Omni. Hello.
Sorry.
There is an Omni setup that includes jump jets that will greatly assist in that. Hello. The Arctic Wolf 1, the SRM
Yeah, he's
bomber.
not going to stop barking.
Sorry, it sounds like we're getting an Arctic Wolf right now.
Wolf. The Arctic Wolf 1, SRM bomber. I'm very curious to see how it holds up after the durability nerf. It lost, what, like 4 hit points
It
in the
lost a
legs, I
lot.
think? Yeah, it lost like 2 to 4 hit points in the legs. It's pretty gnarly compared to its previous values. Uh,
Oh, don't forget about the Narctic Wolf, or the not Narctic Wolf, the Streak Wolf as well.
I don't. I The Streak Wolf may come into issues with the standard brawler. As a medium mech, I I just did one of my practice brawls where they didn't eat my legs was only because they were running streaks, and unfortunately, I was in a Kentaro,
Mm,
and that didn't work out well for him. Streaks, while good against runners, like the kiting ATM Arctic Wolf and the like, are going to very much suffer against the bigger, tougher in your face brawler sorts. Um, I think I saw a loadout with plasma cannons and protos for the blood kit running around in quick play. I'll poke at that, but I'm gonna have to poke at that first. The assassin. Okay,
oh
as much
God,
flack as we
here
give
we
it, I
go.
think tunning down to 2 4s and 2 6s can make the assassin 21 pretty mean.
It is.
It doesn't have crazy
You
values,
can do two
but it's
sixes just fine.
what?
You can do two
Four
sixes
sixes?
just, or four sixes. Four sixes just fine. Yeah,
uh,
like there's. Why would you not use the four sixes?
oh, because I was thinking with the bigger engine that normally uses the four. Sorry about background noise. The I was thinking of the faster engine 4 4s, but if you're going up 4 tons, yeah, maybe. Um,
I
the
mean,
20.
here, let's switch over to my screen real quick just to give some context. Like, the assassin is when it got its buffs recently, um, the 21 just gained a lot of versatility. Like you can do so much more with the 21 than you used to be able to. You can do the bigger engine SRM 4 one like this. You can do the SRM 6 version. You can do streaks. You can do merms. Though those won't necessarily be useful here. Um, I'm just saying the 21 just gained a lot. Um, and well, real quick, just a side deviation, the 23 being kind of a side grade of the 21, but being more focused on light hunting and especially going for legs. Like, what do you think? Do you think the 23 is necessarily going to see much love here?
I think that they're both a bit. I think it's going to be hard for assassins to push in with the lack of durability that they have.
Yeah,
And
they
in order
definitely
to
do.
get a respectable armament, you really need to sacrifice on the engine that generally makes it um, really good for the brawl. I think the 23 is actually better suited for brawling with
Yes.
the triple SRM 6 Artemis triple small laser loadout,
And yes,
which is
this is the build
that's
you're
that's
talking
pretty
of,
gnarly.
so and yeah,
Um,
you get an XL265, 3 SRM 6, 3 small lasers, 1 or 2 jump jets, and a dead side.
the dead
And
side isn't nearly as important when you have the XL engine,
true.
but it's it's pretty easy to field a bit. Uh, I've had some problems before mixing lasers and SRMs, but I've had less of an issue since it was not the Locust. Knife fighting with combining lasers and SRMs on squiggly little things is extraordinarily painful.
Okay, view is back over to you, by the way.
Good to go. The Assassin 101, um, currently the meta quick play loadout is 2 binaries,
Which is amazing,
which
actually.
is totally fine. It's got high mounts, it's got some good speed. Honestly, I think they could give it a little more dissipation, and it would the players would be just ridiculously happy. Um,
Let's be real, that would bring it to the level that people would actually bring it, rather than only dedicated fans bringing it.
mm,
Like,
the like that was the main problem I had with the assassin or with the 2 binary 1 ER medium because you can fit one on the head, I think it is, of the 101. Yeah, there's an energy hardpoint in the head of the 101, and I was running 2 binary 1 ER medium and it was just too hot. That 11th heatsink was so necessary.
Huh. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's a very high mounted peak. It's good fun. Um, but unless they improve the dissipation, I'm not going to put that tonnage into.
No.
And even if they do give it dissipation, I would just keep it as a heatsink. Uh,
Yeah.
they'd have to give it something gnarly like 10 or 15% for me to consider the putting that laser back.
Well,
The
that said,
26.
well,
Oh, what's up?
back to the 101. The 101 also has other builds that we need to look at, which might be more applicable here. Namely,
Okay.
it's far more classic, 4 medium pulse build, which by today's standards, that's super undergunned, but I don't know, you might be able to see some degree of success with that in
There
1v1s.
I think that is very much undergone,
Yeah,
considering that there are cicadas and Vulcans, also 40 tons, running around with
true,
5 at 130.
true.
They have speed, they have more guns. Probably they're running like less hard points, but I mean less heat sinks. But that's yeah. Speaking of which, those also exist.
What
The
do?
Assassin 26. Oh, uh the
Oh,
cicada and
oh,
Vulcan.
yeah,
We'll get to
yeah,
those.
and we'll get to that. We were
Yeah.
talking in just before the stream about how the assassin is outclassed by literally every single other 40 tonner in anything that it might excel at. It's just better to take a cicada, a Vulcan, a Vapor Eagle, an Arctic Wolf. It just gets so outplayed by everything. There's never a reason to take an assassin.
The 26 is in an interesting spot because it is a 40-ton mech that wants really heavy ultras.
Yeah,
And it has 2 hard points. And if they're going to run with that, they need to do a couple of things. One, first off, I think the ammo capacity needs to be touched up. Bonus ammo per ton is huge. And I think that that's just not enough. If you
it's not.
want
One
to fit ammo, if you want to open up tonnage, that's one of the easiest ways to do it with ballistics, and I feel like that will enable having, maybe a light PPC in there or something. What's
I'm
up?
using the
one
26 now, and I'm a big fan of it.
Oh,
the
really?
one build that I have on it is a UAC 10 and 2 light PPCs with jump jets.
Holy smokes, how do you
Ultra
even penetrate
20 and
anything?
4 small lasers.
It fits.
Oh,
It fits.
yeah, I have no idea how you fit that. You're
I did some
probably not
wizard.
moving very quick.
I'm not going over, I think 100. Let me double check. Let me launch
Oh, that's slow
MechWarrior.
for an assassin.
Yes, but you're boarding a. This is more of a second liner behind the assaults and heavies. That's what I intended it for.
The
Because I
second,
also had other build with a UAC 20 and 2 small lasers that was really good with the bigger heavies and assaults because of the UAC jam chance reduction. I don't see that variant of the assassin as a flanker. I see it more as a second liner.
well, if it was going to be like that, it would need some armor bonuses.
Hmm?
Well, it is skinny and you have a big assault in front of you most of the time, or
I
Yeah,
a
mean,
but if you're
scarier.
squishy at certain points, you hit squishiness values where they just go, you're next to an assault, and if he's shooting at another assault, he just says, "Oh, I have, 2 Ultra 10s, 2 Ultra 5s, and there's this big assault next in front of me, but there's also an assassin I can just one volley off the
yeah,
field." If you start
Well,
reaching certain levels
yes.
of squishy, they just start to prioritize you.
Well,
yes.
yes. That's
It happens
for
with Thanes.
that
Oh,
that is for people that think harder and have better situational awareness, but usually the assaults or scarier heavies are getting prioritized on quick play. If you're going for high skill, yes, absolutely. You'll probably get singled out at
Dude,
you
I was
fall
getting
over.
singled out as a kit fox. I would run at someone, and he's getting run at by freaking 4 people. I've got a dire wolf to my left, and they look at my kit fox and go, "You, I choose you. You need to die." And it's not a one-off thing. It happens. It would happen pretty regularly. If they
So
think they can alpha you off of the field, or if they think they can two-shot you off of the field, you become priority number one.
it just depends on who they are and how their skill is.
Alright.
Anyways, back to the loadout. I have an XL 225 with dual light peeps, a UAC 10, and 2 tons of ammo
Here,
with an extra heatsink.
if I
91
might
kph. That's okay.
demonstrate an alternative using lax, let me transition over to my screen. Also,
Well,
Hello there.
well, oh, who just joined us?
I came back.
What's that?
I said I just came back. I did something I was very proud of.
Oh, we are
Well,
live
you're
on
on
stream
stream,
right
by the
now.
way.
We're streaming on
my
Twitch
bad.
and YouTube. But why don't you go ahead and share what happened? What's up?
I just made somebody rage quit a Solaris fight with
Oh,
a crab.
good job.
I don't know if that's
Oh.
something necessarily to be proud of, but what happened?
I took a triple snub-nosed crab to Solaris
And
beat a hunchback.
As
well
you do.
done. Like,
He got mad.
why
He
would
took
somebody
off my
rage-
shoulder. I took off his shoulder and just happened to take off his big shoulder. I still had 2 snub nose left.
Why would he rage quit? That doesn't make any sense.
It was like as soon as the round ended, like nothing had happened. The music hadn't even kicked in yet. The motherfucker was already disconnected.
Okay, now hold on. Some folks are just
Yeah.
plowing through.
Yeah, a lot of
No.
people are just
Dropped
farming
for
it for
money.
the C-bills.
That was the first one ever, which is why I jokingly said I just made somebody rage quit. Because everybody
yeah.
else has been really chatty and like having fun with it.
Yeah, I
There are
know
folks
a
who will just
lot of
grind it for
people who
C-bills.
don't.
Yeah, I ran
who
into a
are-
lot during heavies that even if they won, they never said anything.
Yeah.
Win, lose, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't even
Even
get to the
people I
end
knew.
screen. They
People the
quit out. They
GG.
move on to the next one.
Yeah,
No GG. That
Yeah.
takes time. That takes time. When you can just exit out and move on to the next match.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean,
Time
I
is
didn't
money,
hold it
friend.
against them. Like, they should be going hard on it. But anyway, back over to what we're working on, Assassin 26. This build
think the
works
Ultra 10
2 well.
I think the
2 LAC
Ultra 10
5s,
is-
2 light
What's up?
PPCs, 2 LAC 5s, 2 light PPCs. You get 3 jump jets, 2 tons of ammo, and an XL 255. It's
Okay, that sounds pretty reasonable.
yeah.
Then why
and-
not just take a UAC 5 instead? Because it has the UAC jam chance reduction and duration.
Because that's not 100%.
Yeah, it's not a 100%. Plus, this is entirely designed for Pop-Tarting and the Alpha.
But you have a bigger spread on the LAC 5s because it fires 2 bullets.
Yeah, as opposed
For
to
the 5
2 pellets
damage.
from an Ultra 5.
Yes, that deals 10 damage in total.
So you have 2 pellets of 10 of 5 damage for a total of 10 damage versus 2 pellets for a total of 10 damage.
Well, yes, because
Oh my god, the 2
yeah.
LAC 5s are basically an Ultra 5 that doesn't jam, but shorter range, and both bursts happen at the same time.
Yeah, but
Well, you get a
the-
fire.
the one
The burst comes right after at like what, nearly a little more than a tenth of a second, 0.11 seconds or some such.
Yeah,
yes,
whatever
but
it is.
the point that I want to drive home is that that's 5 damage pinpoint, and
Versus, no, because you have 2 of them.
Yeah, so you have
on the UAC 5.
no on
On
the
the
on the
LAC
lax you have two of the pellets hit simultaneously of 2.5 damage each, which means that that's 5 ppfld, if you will, and then the second round in each gun's burst follows directly behind that for another 5. So it's basically you get the power of an Ultra 5 in a single burst
That never jams.
that never jams. Like they have fucked this mech over so hard, man. Like it does. They like seriously, it doesn't do anything
Oh.
great,
It
and
doesn't play out
the ultras
here.
don't make sense. Like you get more range, sure. You get 600 to 1200 versus 4.5 to 9, but I
Which
mean
plays
that
out in
matches
quick
up
play.
perfectly with, or no, it doesn't. That's right, Lat 2s match up
It
perfectly.
makes less of a difference here.
Yeah.
It makes less of a difference here in Solaris, where the ranges aren't going to be nearly as high until you get to Boreal.
Also,
Or
who
until
just
you
joined
get
us?
to Boreal. Hello?
It's Phoenix.
Oh, hello. We are streaming now.
That's fine.
Yep.
So, 2 Light 5s is not only going to be a generally faster double tap, because I don't know
God.
about you, I'm a slowpoke.
Kong Lord says
Um,
put the UAT 20 on. Which you
Ah.
can do. I have
You
that
can do.
build.
I'm using the UAC 20 on mine.
Yeah.
2 Light 5s
Is
is
it
just
one single Ultra 20 build?
2
Yeah.
Light 5s,
Here's the
10
Ultra 20
tons,
build for those who
25.
want to see it. Or one of the Ultra 20 builds you can go with. Can I do
Son of a gun.
ferrofibrous? No,
So
you
for
cannot.
sacrificing 1 ton, you basically get an Ultra 5 that runs cooler
Yeah.
and faster.
Yeah. With less range,
Like-
but it's just better.
So the cooldown on the lag
but-
5s
Okay, it
is
does have
higher.
a slower rate of fire.
So yes, Kong is exactly right
It is a
that
slower rate of
you
fire.
totally can do the Ultra 20 on this. And okay, I just need to demonstrate, like, it's kind of funny. It is the funny.
Suddenly jam.
Because, I mean, Kong Lord, do you actually recommend this, or are you just joking? Because I wouldn't use this, and I love the Assassin.
I'm doing pretty decently with it.
Okay. Maybe there is something to it. Like, it does have decent ultra quirks. What's your build, Poncho?
Ultra 20 and then 4 small lasers.
Oh, so you throw on backup weapons as well. How many tons of ammo do you have?
With an Ultra 20, that makes perfect sense because you're not going to be able to fit bigger than a light engine.
Probably a
smaller
light
standard
to fit
engine.
25.
Can't do lights.
I mean, it's not bad, honestly.
I'll post mine in mech build.
It does kind of blind the pilot. Wait, did I fucking miss at that range? There we go. Yeah, I mean, this isn't an awful choice. So, if you want an Ultra 20, like, yeah, Assassin 26 can do it. Is it the best use of the mech? Actually, maybe?
Just found out that Blackjack 1DC has a 50% jam chance reduction.
Let's
Oh.
see. It's gaming time. Yes.
I use the Ultra 5 Blackjack.
I'm going to
What DC build?
pin that comment. Do.
Hey, Dark, was that you in the, was that a Warthog, that first drop of yours?
No, my very first drop I was using a direwolf, but eventually went to a Nova Cat and then a Cougar.
Okay. I think that's the Nova Cat that I was facing off against. I kind of just stared you down, try to rip your leg off.
Oh, let me
I'm gonna
guess. You
make
go
something
full
funny.
ferrofibrous, and you said how many smalls?
I think they said 2 small pulses,
Oh,
which checks out with a light 200 engine that fits perfectly with 2 tons of ammo and a single jump jet. For
Oh,
two
wait, I
floating heat
can't do
sinks,
that.
2 small pulses, that would fit perfectly.
I'm gonna try and run the blackjack
Hold on, I'm
with
gonna switch over
UAC
to
20.
your screen to show what you're working on then. Um, let me make it big. And
17, 18. That makes me just
transition,
gives me enough time to do that. Yeah, I
Discord.
think
Okay, so yeah, this is what Poncho is using.
Rough idea. I
Yeah,
didn't
rough
pull the
idea.
exact loadout off of the website or off of the Discord, but this is what I immediately, just conveniently threw together. If you put a light 200 in the Ultra 20 and the double heat sinks, it kind of builds itself. Get 2 tons of Ultra 20 ammo, a single jump jet for just maneuverability purposes, and then you go, oh, I have 2 tons left.
You can
At which
probably
point you either
throw on Light
small lasers
Pharaoh.
and a. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
probably.
auto.
Oh,
Beep
yeah,
boop.
why is everybody's audio going bad?
Yes.
Discord is having problems. Stand by for DDoS.
Yeah,
Could be.
it doesn't seem to be on my end.
I just heard a bunch of garbled robotic stuff
Yep.
in the last.
Okay, it
episode.
seems to have
That's
cleared
just
up.
Discord.
Oh, yeah, I
I
just
think it was
restarted it.
just a server issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, likely server, Discord, some such. Yeah, with Light Pharaoh, you can throw in a few more points of armor into the arms.
Yeah.
Bear in mind though, I do have back armor. I'm sure some folks are reeing over that. That was
Well,
only purpose was just to use up the tonnage.
yeah, I think that was obvious, but I realize that may not be obvious to those viewers who are less familiar with the Mech Lab. Like, and with the
Or
fact that what's up?
I was just trying to figure out what the weight was that you needed to throw some extra back armor.
Wait,
oh,
is that light 200?
that's a light 200 that only
Holy
moves
crap.
at 81 kph. Yeah, when I say
That is slow.
yeah, for an
That's
assassin,
like,
that's slow.
why not just use an enforcer or a huntsman or something?
Welcome to that hunchy life.
Yeah, I
Alright.
know. Yeah.
Sounds
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
okay, the problem is at 81 kph, you're going up against
You're
the
going
likes of the
Timberwolf
hunchy.
speeds.
Well, to be
Yeah, I'm using a
fair,
hunchy in the thing, and I'm doing pretty good.
Oh my god, it looks like it has a growth coming out of its nose. Or it has.
oh my
Oh
god,
my
it does.
god. That just.
Yeah. Oh god, that is officially ruined for me now.
I mean,
God
considering with the lax, it at least looks balanced.
Ugh.
You can do
All
lat
right.
2s, and but that's more of a quick play thing.
I think
So
that's
annoyed,
probably
I
gonna
am
be more
missing
quick
light
play.
events. Oh fuck, you are. It's mediums right now, Java, so don't worry. The
You're not
light for
missing
next
much.
week. But yeah, her computer had a critical existence failure. It was
It
actually
just
really
decided to
upsetting
nope.
for all of us.
Did her existence just ended?
Yeah,
Just
like her computer just ended.
east.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
anyway, shall we go on to the
Oh,
Assassin
goodness.
27?
The 27 in quick play
Oh
is
god, there's
known,
so
is
many things you can
generally
do with this.
is generally seen as the only thing. I think the only loadout that I saw on GridMix was 2 snubs, 2 SRM2s. But we're doing some weird shit here because it's not like we need the ECM. What are they gonna do? Streaks ya? Actually, streaks might be
Actually,
dangerous in an
streaks
assassin.
might be used. You know,
Yeah,
that
streaks
moment
might.
you take the ECM off, you're going to go up against a streaker.
Are you scared of a streaker in the assassin?
You might be. It's an assassin.
Not to be
Depends
that
on how
guy
many
right now,
streaks.
but phrasing.
Yes, yes.
All right. So 2 snubs, 2 SRMs, 1 ton of ammo. That'll probably do you. I don't think there's too much you can change
Oh, there's a
from the
lot
quick
you
play
can
loadout.
change. Here, turn it over to
From
me.
this
I'm Mr. Assassin Man.
on for this loadout. You
Oh.
might drop
Actually,
half a
there
ton
are
of
some things you
SRM.
can change up for that.
I think you could drop half a ton of SRM ammo and either put it into engine or head armor. Not many people are going for assassin headshots, I would believe.
Yeah, because they're not in the right place, first of all, in MWO. They're supposed to be down where the feet are, or
What? The headshot is down at the feet?
no.
What?
Okay, where the pilot. Okay, how do you think a pilot sits in that cockpit? Where do
I
you
gotta see
think?
that. I gotta see that mech before I really gotta think.
Where
Give
do
me a
you
second.
think you're supposed to be viewing out of?
Hold on.
Oh, if this is like a
Sorry, is it in the
jet, then
medium
it's gonna
category?
be pretty. He's gonna be pretty centered so that he can see directly out the front.
So you're wrong.
Well,
Oh, is it the little like it's like the littler? It's the smaller of the two windows, right?
Yeah. So that whole part at the top, um, yeah.
Which actually looks like a cockpit.
If you hit F5 from the training grounds
yeah.
and you move forward, you'll see that much like literally everyone else who has ever looked at the assassin, they thought that that top part was the cockpit. Yeah, move away, and your head is right there. Where if that were a cockpit, that would make sense. But that's supposed to be a sensor dome. And scroll out some, and
What?
look, see where your feet are supposed to be looking out? That is supposed to be the compact cockpit. And move out now. Yeah, that's supposed to be where you look out in the Assassin. But MWO doesn't do it that way, in my opinion, for the better. But the new Catalyst Game Labs models for the Assassin, they do it correctly, and that little part is the cockpit. And it seems like the pilot like gets into it like a motorcycle, more or less.
Oh God!
Yeah, it's super.
How is that
cramped.
comfortable?
It's not.
How could you imagine if frickin' people were getting headshot by getting center mass in an assassin?
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the reason why MWO did the more sensible thing. And they were like, you know what? This looks like a jet. And this is where the head needs to go. And it's up there, not in the correct place, which is down there. So,
Or
yeah, the assassin, this model for the assassin, in my opinion, looks better and looks more correct. However, the new Catalyst Game Labs model that recently came out is actually done with so much love and care and attention that I can't hate it.
I actually have it already.
Nice.
I got it through a salvage box.
Oh, nice.
Along with the Scorpion.
Okay.
I'm very tempted to get one of these mechs now. Now that I know I can make this into a streak boat.
while
Oh yeah, absolutely. The assassin?
while
Yeah. You can make a streak boat out of an assassin.
while the most common loadout you're going to see on the 27 is 2 snubs, 2 SRM2s. Props to Casey Bat for kicking my ass with this one. If you
Uh-huh.
drop the snub to 2 small, or the second snub to 2 small lasers, you can up the SRMs to 6s.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. As I said, props to Casey Bat for kicking my butt with this one. I tried it out.
That's
Thumbs up.
way better.
How fast do you
I
want to be
tried it.
going on this thing? Like
This
120?
immediately feels better.
So you can put up to a 400 rated engine into the assassin, and then you can take about 1.5 tons of weapons.
Oh,
yeah.
I pulled just SRAMs in it, and SRAMs smalls,
fuck.
and it is hilarious. It is fast as a light max
Yes.
engine.
It's
Like
Or
it goes
does it?
165,
it is
and it's just hilarious.
but it is not practical in the least. It is purely
No.
there as a meme. It is a much better Pop-Tart than it is a speedster because it's tall as fuck, and its legs are so easy to hit.
Oh, the one thing I did with that Mac, I painted it blue and gave it golden shoes.
I would have made
That's foul.
I would make it look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, that's what I intended it.
Or I guess Shadow would be more appropriate given the whole assassin thing.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a quick play loadout. Oh wait, I
Yeah.
can drop some ammo.
So you can
Oh my
also
God, can
do ERPPCs on it and make a Pop-Tart out of it, but that's not going to be useful in 1v1s. You can also do light PPCs instead of snubs. That gives you more room for the SRMs, Or you could even go up to, this would obviously be quick play, you could go up to MRMs.
I just switched out the snub and the snubs and smalls for 3 medium pulses.
Yeah,
That also opens up a ton to shore up my quick play shaved leg armor.
also with how fast you are, you can totally do thunderbolts in this for meme.
Can you get cheeky with the 26 and go 2 mag shots, 2 snubs?
20% missile cooldown. Yeah, I could see that being a total meme.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, two snubs, 2 mag shots. The thing is the ultimate curse of the assassin, the
You
Vulcan
can't put mag shots in it.
5S exists, and you can do 2 mag shots, 2 snubs.
Oh, you're talking about gotcha.
And then you get mask. Like, the lack of mask kills the assassin.
Do you think the assassin would be actually? You know what? I think would be really cool. Let's lean on the name. Let's lean less into lame and more into name, and give it some built-in radar deprivation, just to run with the name.
That would be nice.
It would. I don't think it would break the. It would not break the mech at all.
No.
Just how fast does this mech need to go to match the speed of the
Later, Dark Femme. We'll see you when we see you.
What's the name? I forgot.
I'm glad you were here to talk about actual tabletop stuff. I feel like you were here just for that purpose.
You would probably be looking at something more like an XL325 in order to run a 130 kph base speed.
This thing only needs 1 ton of jump jets. I can make this happen. I think.
Oh, God.
Class 4 jump jets are half a ton each.
Again, the assassin is much better suited as a Pop-Tart, but
I think
the Vulcan's better and the Cicada is better.
I think it would also be very interesting to give it a toned down version of the Archer clan's ECM detection radius.
Ooh.
Where it reduces the amount of distance that you can press R on the mech without having to go into stealth armor. Obviously, the Archer is a bit excessive, where you have to be within, or when you have the nodes, you have to be within the bubble in order to press R on the mech, which is kind of wild. It's basically clan stealth armor. But I think having a lesser version, even if it's only like 10%, would be really interesting to see how it plays out on the mech.
Yeah. I would agree there. Are we getting to the DD now?
All right, straight up. I don't know what's going on with the double delta and the cauldron. The cauldron just has their heels dug in that this thing is not you could give this mech a quadruple rate of. You could give this thing 65% AC2 cooldown reduction total. Like, including cooldown, you just leave the 20 alone, and you just say IS AC2 cooldown minus 45%, and it would not break this mech. A quadruple rate of fire AC2 would not break this mech, and the fans would lose their minds.
Everyone would love it. Everyone would love it. Literally everyone.
It would be a fantastic meme around mech. Nobody would lose their minds.
They already gave it to the Arctic Cheetah.
Basically.
No, they did. Go look. Arctic Cheetah B.
Yeah. The Arctic Cheetah, that's a double rate of fire.
Yeah, and you can go even higher on this.
I'm talking about giving it Black Hawk Coup levels of rate of fire bonuses, okay?
Like, it just has that one vulnerable arm hanging off of it.
One gun.
It's just one gun.
You know what? We could even let's just give it right arm. Let's make that a plus 16.
Yeah.
Let's make them want to use it. Plus 16 right arm armor. Boom. And all of a sudden, the fans lose their minds. And
people would
what
actually
the Cauldron
buy
is doing instead? The Cauldron is like, well, let's just give it Rack 2 bonuses instead.
What? Why?
No,
my God! No one who buys something called an assassin that has ECM and is stealthy looking and has that fucking default paint job wants Rack 2s on that thing.
I like this paint job.
I love that paint job. It's stealthy. People want sneaky Raven Guardy shit.
This is like classic.
Dude, how funny it would be for me to take this darn thing, go full stealth,
paint this thing full on black and drop like an AC-20 into that
To be
arm.
fair, an AC-2 firing at quadruple rate of fire is also not exactly stealthy.
Yeah, true,
No.
true, but it
But
does. Dale Sanderson, the guy whose mech this is supposed to be, like it would fit his style.
it
Like
would fit his
you're a
style.
stealthy horse archer, basically. That's what you're supposed to be in this mech, which I
Oh,
guess is
like
more White
cavalry.
Scars-esque. But yeah,
Okay, hang on. This is gonna be a hell of a meme for like specifically caves,
yeah.
but I think
Oh,
I can make this.
no, no, no. This is going to be hellish in Ishiyama Caves, just
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
can stick a Gauss rifle on this
Yeah.
and
Oh.
paint it all black.
I
I
think
have
that's
done
not going to
this
be
during other event queues, and I've just stood next to people shooting them, and they had no idea what was happening.
really.
Also, Nyandere and I once got into a duel of stealth assassins, and it was like a fucking. Okay, she massively outclassed me, not gonna lie. Like, it wasn't even funny. I was so outclassed, but it felt like we were playing with submarines more than we were battle mechs. It was amazing.
Oh god, I
Pulling
am
someone
running
over real
out.
quick.
Nyandere just. Her mechanics are just so much better than mine. Fuck.
Okay,
Oh my
38,
god.
38.5.
I could tell at times she was even trying to get me to do something. Like, it seemed like she was trying to nudge me towards playing better. But this
I
was
got
like
it.
2 years ago.
Yeah, Gun
Anyway,
Raptor got it.
you got
Let me.
what?
I got the build. It's kind of dumb, but it's gonna work.
Oh god, what
Oh
is it?
dear.
It's the Gauss rifle, snub nose PPC. It runs bullshit levels of hot.
Yes, it does.
So
But usually you'll just, since you'll have stealth armor, you'll just want either a light Gauss or a Gauss rifle, depending on how much ammo you intend to bring. The
so
light Gauss is actually viable.
I have dumber news.
Uh-huh.
All right. Why would you run this when you could run a 5 tons, little more weight hatchet man with a heavy? Oh wait, you can't run heavy Gauss stealth. That would be silly. Oh my
Mm,
gosh, could you imagine heavy Gauss plus
Oh
stealth?
god.
oh my god.
Uh,
You
That
would
would
be
be
able to run it on
amazing.
a hatchet man. That would be so dumb. And
Uh,
don't talk to me about crit
That would
splitting.
be
I think crit
cool.
splitting is stupid.
do
Yeah,
I
I'm
do
just
I just
going
okay? I guess
to
I just dropped the P.
relocate. Like
Hatchet use.
I'm just going to relocate like a quarter of or half of my gun into my leg. Yeah, because that makes sense.
I
Crit splitting is
mean,
stupid.
if it's like the computer system that runs it, maybe.
I
But
do
yeah,
understand that it is simply gamification of a system
yeah,
like the flexible armor. Like, let's be real. The heat generation of a large laser on a 40-ton mech should not be the same as the heat generation on a large laser on a 100-ton mech. Like, the ventilation systems should be different. The only way to get the same comparable amount of heat is to have bigger guns.
yeah,
But you don't get bigger guns. It's gamification. That's just
yeah,
how it
yeah.
works.
The
Which
BattleTech
I'm
will
fine with.
always be haunted by being one of the first tabletop games that had you actively engineering. Like, this is literally engineering at a very basic level, but it's still engineering. And more modern games like, what's that car game, like Wreck Out or something?
Crash outs?
Crash
Wreckfest.
Out,
Cross
Cross Out.
out.
Yeah, like they do the whole engineering thing so much better, and the damage models so much better. Like Kerbal Space Program probably does engineering in a video game, well, for its
Hold on.
era, better than anyone ever did. And now we have things like Space Engineers, where you can make an entire like Star Destroyer, literally a Star Destroyer, that is 1-to-1 accurate to the lore descriptions, and have accurate damage models because the you can actually like lay down armor plate in the exact places you want, and the game models all of that. BattleTech, because for whatever reason, us nerds are so caught up on keeping the 1980s level tech of pen and paper dolls like alive as our and little blocks as our form of engineering that we're never going to move past it. And I don't like that, but for those of us who love the series, we have to endure that. But anyway,
So the Dark Death does possess something interesting over the other ECM mechs of its weight class.
what's that?
Specifically for over the other ballistics, and that is actually the missile count. The other if you're gonna try and pull the goofy Ishiyama stealth nonsense that we were doing with assaults,
I was
you
doing it with
only
heavies too.
get the Gauss rifle plus like a snub in other mechs, even the notorious Ghillie. But this you
Yeah,
can
we'll
load
get
up
to the
from
Ghillie.
SRMs. You can get some front-loaded SRMs that they can't just swivel and spot where the fuck it came from. And those missiles will actually greatly add to the punch. The only other options that you can get around it is to just not have a Gauss rifle.
Yeah, just
Which,
go snow. The most successful way to run the Dark Death, and this is coming from somebody whose first hero mech ever in this game was the Dark Death, and his favorite mech is the Assassin, and specifically the Dark Death. Like, the best way to run this thing is sadly 2 SRM6s and 1 snub. And just ignore what's supposed to be its signature, the fucking ballistic in the arm. And just run it as another snub SRM ECM mech. And Pop Tart with it. Like, that's all it is. That's all it is.
I
Ultimately.
mean, you could do that. I'm pretty sure you could do that with K's and the stealth armor. Like, yeah, your heat management's
I throw a
1.61,
mag
but who
shot
gives
in
a shit,
there.
right?
Yeah.
I just like to play light Gauss stealth and just sit in a corner and annoying people.
That is. Oh, I did that on Terra Therma during an event queue, and it was amazing. People
It
wanted
Oh
is
to
yeah,
die
you could
so
piling.
totally
good.
stuff a mag shot in here. That's gonna be hilariously
Yeah, you
funny.
could
Oh,
do a
yeah.
mag shot now. So a
Yeah.
mag shot is where a machine gun meant nothing there. A mag shot is totally viable, and just use it as an ambush predator.
You get
But
100. You get 100 shots per ton of mag shot ammo.
oh
That's
yeah,
actually a
Yeah.
lot.
you get a lot out
Yeah.
of the ammo for mag shot.
Uh,
Anyway, but
the
I
yeah, yeah,
have so
the other stealth options that you actually get, there's only two other stealth options which won't be able to field the Gauss rifle, and that is the Griffin 2N
yes.
and the Hellspawn,
Oh, oh, you mean
which
other than like the ghillie or whatever?
other than like the Ghillie, the ones
Yeah.
that are not probably going for the Gauss rifle shenanigans.
Yeah.
But
How about
yeah,
the cicada?
the Cicada has
Is there an
a
ECM
ballistic
cicada?
hardpoint. There's an ECM
There's a
Cicada. It has a
ballistic.
ballistic
There's
Okay.
hardpoint. It also has Ultra 5 bonus ammo per ton, which is
Oh,
really
that
nice.
one.
Yeah, that one's good.
You,
It's
you
pretty nice,
can
actually.
Yeah.
you can do the
Uh,
light Gauss, but not the normal Gauss. Sadly.
Again, much
I'm
sad.
heading up.
I don't think you're going to be, aside from Ishiyama ambush shenanigans, I don't think you're going to get too much value out of the Dark Death.
Cauldron,
That one's
stop
going to be a
being
hard fight.
cowards and give us what we want for the Dark Death. For fuck's sake. I
Just give us a
never.
Just
quadruple
dark death
rate
or
of
no balls, dude.
Yeah,
Just give
yeah.
us quadruple rate of fire AC2. It won't break the meta. But it'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. We don't want fucking racks. Like, it doesn't make sense that the Assassin 26 lost its rack bonuses. And it doesn't make sense that the Dark Death never had racks to begin with as something it had some
It's
kind of bonus
it's
for.
just some weird sort of digging in their heels thing. All right,
Yeah, they
Blackjack.
just hate the Assassin. They want it
All
to be
right.
bad.
I don't know.
That's hard.
Um, so the Blackjack, interesting.
God, I'm one of the
The
biggest
Blackjack's
defenders of the
45
Cauldron
tons.
usually. Anyway, sorry.
The Blackjack has a limited engine, so it's not going to be anything too wild there. So gap closing is not going really on the menu. The uh except for the 1X. The 1X gets to field a massive engine, which is because it doesn't get jump jets. It's weird that way. It's special, but we love it. The Blackjack 1 with 35% cooldown reduction sounds really, really neat. The 45 tons kind of holds it back a bit, I feel. I have. Ooh, sorry. I have tried fitting like AC5s onto this thing,
Really?
and even light fives, and I kind of look at it as you really need at minus 35% cooldown, you want to lean into the ballistics. Everything else is just window dressing. Like when you add skill points to it, when you add skill points, you're looking at 47% cooldown reduction. You're looking at basically double rate of fire. Like this thing in a hill peak, or this thing might be able to do a thing on Boreal. If I remove some ridiculous ammo, because ammo, and up the armor a bit, I think I can skip a second jump jet, maybe up the engine a little. Oops, too
Oh,
heavy.
the one thing that just came into
Too
my
fast.
mind that I would love to see is a UAC LBX cannon.
Hmm.
Why not just double tap LBs?
Maybe. Honestly, if I'm going to be pumping rounds into someone, I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to look at LB10s. Can I do this if I strip out the small lasers? What am I looking at? If I rip out the AC5s, but I leave the 4.5 tons of ammo, is probably too much. 3.5 tons of ammo is a baby. What does it take to fit another LB10? 11 tons. Yeah, that would be sketch. That would be super, super sketch. In order to fit 2 LB10s into this thing, it'd be a really tight fit, that's for sure. And you're probably shaving sketch armor somewhere. 2 AC10s though is a lot, or 2 AC5s though is a lot more reasonable. Like I said, I can probably rip 2 tons of ammo off of that pretty easy. 4.5 tons is probably fine. It's simple XL engine. I don't know how well this is going to do on Boreal with things just running straight at them. Like, I think this is a big maybe, and I'm kind of not really feeling it. Like, yeah, even with the 47% cooldown, which is basically, even with double rate of fire, like, I'm feeling iffy about some other ones that are going to be ballistic nerds on the list that are a bit heavier in tonnage and produce more fire. Like, 2 AC5, I don't think that's going to be enough to cut it, and that's just going to get run at. The 1DC gets 20% ballistic cooldown. Okay. With only 2 hard points. It's got 6 energy.
I've been muted.
You've been muted.
I thought you were just like talking in rhythm with me, slash kind of over me because there's lots to say.
Oh.
And I
Now
just
here's the
realized that
question.
everything I was saying was lost. Anyway.
Now here's the question. Did that thing that while you were muted, did it get onto the stream?
What's that?
Probably not.
No, because
Probably not.
I had my mic
Hardware
itself
mute.
muted.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So, on my headset, if I move the switch up, it mutes. If I move it down,
It's a
fine.
hardware mute. Oof.
Yeah, it's a hardware mute. So everything I said was lost.
Oh, womp womp.
Also, can you
Lost
hear
to
that little
history.
beep?
Happen to me.
Hold on. Can you
No.
guys hear this?
No.
No.
Okay.
What is it? What was it
It's
supposed to be?
just the little beep that makes it clear when I'm muted and unmuted.
Oh. That's internal only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on your end.
Well, it usually is, but sometimes people can hear it for some reason on my old headset. But that headset also almost burst into flames. I have thermal
Yes, it
camera
does.
images of it, but that's for another day.
That's for a day where everybody is not particularly sober.
Yeah. I already shared it in the server. Anyway.
Whatever. It's probably well before I arrived there.
So I'm guessing you have opinions on the Blackjack one.
Who, me?
If you were talking, I felt. Yeah.
Nothing you didn't already say.
Gotcha.
I think I put AC5s on that thing. I'll have to double check.
Hold on.
But
Let me go to
50%.
mine real quick. Here. You stay there real quick, and I am going to pull up my screen. I'm still on the Assassin
It's like a
26.
side-by-side.
All right. Yeah. Conglord was trying to do like a stream together thing earlier, but apparently he got turned off from having Discord ask for his mic. So yeah. Oh
Okay.
man, I kind of want to go revisit the Assassin DD, even though we've already. Wait, did we skip the Black Lantern?
No, Black Lantern is next.
Okay,
I'm
but
just
we're
in the
at the
store and
Blackjack.
going down the list.
What's
So
that?
we're still on the Blackjack one, right?
Yeah, we're still on the Blackjack one.
Okay. I have the.
No, the 1DC. Sorry.
Oh, okay. With the one, I
We've
have
pretty much just moved
like
on.
2 AC2s, 3 light PPCs.
Really?
that's okay.
AC2s?
Well, that's probably for quick play. I've already
that's a
tried
quick
loading
play.
up AC5s, and you just don't have the ammo.
Yeah, because I think
that's the issue.
last time I did it before I switched it up with the ER medium lasers, I did have like 7 tons of ammo stuffed into this darn thing.
With AC5s, you're getting 6 tons or you get 5 tons of ammo if you strip like crazy.
Okay, so if you look at the
6
stream,
if you're not.
I have a similar thought process to you, but different. I have rack 5s on the 1DC.
Oh, okay.
The Ultra 5s are surely better for the 1v1s. But I can actually see this doing not terribly, come to think of it. The jam chance is minus 50%? Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Oh my god. That's insanely good. I mean,
You
it's
have
not the
fives.
100%, but... What's that?
Yeah, but how many mechs do you know off the top of your head do 100% jam?
A Battle Master and an Urban Mech, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
An Executioner?
Oh yeah, and an Executioner. And is there a Banshee that does? No.
No. I wish there was.
This is almost I was gonna say this is almost identical to the exact build that I have. I was like, wait a minute. It's because it is.
But yeah, let's see. Do I have? I don't really have any. I have the UAC 5 build with. Yeah. I have small lasers with my Ultra 5s.
That's what I just built. 2.5 tons of ammo, 6 small lasers. This might be able to
I
do
need
some
more
work.
mech bays.
Yeah.
The main problem with the Blackjack is, I feel is going to be durability.
Slow and it's not durable.
Yeah, the combination of slow, durable, XL engine, it's running into pancake issues. Almost like they built the Jaeger mech modeled on the Blackjack. Or the other way around. I completely forgot.
I mean, okay, to be fair, and I know we're going to touch on this like in a hot second, so I'm not going to go too deep on it. I have to admit, for a bit of a mid-rangey build of like kind of like a second line shooter, not like a first line, not like a primary line shooter, but a secondary line shooter, it actually performs really well.
Oh yeah, Blackjacks are fantastic.
Yeah, nobody's going to hate on the Blackjack.
Like for quick play.
For quick play, yeah.
And for comp, like, dude, we use that Blackjack arrow all the fucking time.
Yes, the arrow. Yeah, here, let me go ahead and transition back over to
All right.
you, Cher.
The Blackjack 1X, I feel like the Arrow and the 1X are going to be exceptions to this because you can load 8 medium pulses onto the Blackjack 1X.
Or medium X pulses.
Which I've been running the medium X pulses, which is it's an absolute sweet. It's as sweet as it is to shoot all 6 of them at one time. It gets really hot really quick,
even without the ghost heat.
You get 8, man.
Yeah, so you better land that first shot.
Yeah, you better.
Your aim better be decent. But
Yeah,
it's,
the only reason why
The
I
damage
didn't
per
put
second is higher, but that's because the damage is backloaded on X pulses.
mhm,
The damage per heat is the same.
yes.
the problem I find with the X pulses is that I can only shoot 4 at a time without
What?
burning the mech down.
Skill issue.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and
You can fire
It
all
is
8 of them. It's just
it
in
it
part of
is
the.
you've
I
got to
just
it
make
I
your
is
can't
shots.
understand.
because the
How do you
game
stick an extra
operates
2 in there?
in if you fire faster than 0.5 seconds, you get ghost heat.
Well, no, this has an HSL.
Yes, I tried it. It still triggers ghost
Oh.
heat
Oh
What?
no,
because
he's
you
saying.
fire faster. Because you fire faster than 0.5 seconds, you trigger ghost heat. Because the game thinks that you fire more than 8.
Let us test this, please, because I don't believe it.
I think I've seen shit like this, and I think this is
I've
true. Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I have I
I've
have
tried it, and
applied
it
to
killed me
class.
because of ghost heat.
Like in theory, this should be able to fire for at least a little bit, but the ghost heat, 8 ghost heat should shut me down super freaking fast, right?
Okay, let's
Hmm.
see.
Even
You don't
okay,
need
so
a
the
target
math
to
will work.
test it.
The math will work like this, right? The math will work like this. You do not count. It does not count itself, if I remember correctly, but it will count the others, which means it will try to do the ghost heat of, um, like 8 times 2 minus 1 is like 15. It should have ghost heat of like 15. That's pretty bad, but
I've
I
seen
don't know.
worse.
Yeah.
I don't think it's getting ghost heat.
Let me pull up
Can I
some tables really quick.
can I can I just share
Ghost heat.
my live real quick? That way I could show you what I'm looking at.
I
I
just
can't
stepped
tell if that's just like skill diff or
I stepped away from controls, so I can't
it's
switch
all
over to
good.
you.
I just
Um,
need somebody to look at this and just tell me if I'm actually just doing it wrong or
8.91. Okay, so if the math is correct, if this is triggering ghost heat, hold on. A single shot pulls about 9%. 1, 2. That's about 16. I'm not seeing ghost heat on this. Yeah, there's no ghost heat on the base version. There's no ghost heat on the base version. I'm gonna pull up my MechLab version. Just to make absolutely certain because I have quirks on it that improve rate of fire. Like this is probably the easiest way to test that, or the
oh
best way to
yeah,
test that.
the skill tree might push it over that
Because
edge.
if this is running at, if this is just like, hey, you get the HSL, yeah, it has no rate of fire bonuses, which means it's actually sticking to the proper one. Don't mind the cursed hunchless hunchback. That's just some heresy in action. Um, the sad part is 5 medium pulses running at you at 91 kph in a 50-ton chassis is not garbage, and it also gets like 5% or 10% laser duration reduction.
And
It's
let's be
not
real,
the
it
most
looks good.
crappiest. It it looks like a freaking turtle, and I love it. Um, but it is
turtle.
absolute heresy. Black Yak.
Oh my god, it looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Look at the
Absolutely.
proportions. Look at the hips
Turtle.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We tried
Turtle.
to paint it like that, and it really doesn't want to behave that way. Um, Loadout. Let's load the medium X pulses and go into eeny, meeny, miny.
How did you stuff an extra 2 in there? I was struggling to try and get that extra one in there.
An extra 2, what?
The extra 2 X pulses.
You have an XL?
Yeah.
I probably have stupid shaped
Oh
one here.
no. I have a light engine.
Oh, that'll do it. All right, so a single shot is about 7% heat. Yeah, I'm not getting ghost heat on this.
Huh.
Even with, do I have skill? Do I have rate of fire? I should have rate of fire stuff. At least
No,
the burn
Gwiz, I don't
duration.
think I have. Maybe I have, actually.
So
it's hot. It is fucking hot. You're generating 14, even if you're not doing anything else really silly, like you're looking at least 12% heat per second, and that's going to add up really, really quick. Do I have cooldown reduction? I do have cooldown. Why do I not have range nodes? What? What? Whatever. All right. So I've got rate of fire nodes on this thing. Which means, yeah, this is not producing ghost heat, not in testing grounds anyway. Just because it is about 7% per shot. It cools down to about 5.5, 6%. It fires again, and it hits like 13% heat. Also, bear in mind that while moving, you lose some of your cooling. Instead of generating heat, it just kind of nerfs your cooling. So
Maybe they changed it or fixed it, because when I first tested it out, I got like a lot of ghosted.
yeah.
And I think was the issue at first when they introduced X-pulse lasers.
Maybe. It would have been like some kind of like under the table ghost fix.
Maybe they changed something, I don't know. But
Oh,
at first,
that's what Kong was trying to do. He was trying. I thought I understood. Yeah, dude, the stream together shit never works for me. And I never understand how it fucking works. And I wish it did. Anyway, yeah, you and I maybe will figure out how to stream together at some point in the future. But yeah, like the stream together thing, it just doesn't make sense because it always wants me to like put my face on the camera, like even when I want the stream to be entirely through OBS or whatever. It's so weird.
So I believe it's entirely possible to run the Blackjack 1X. That might have just been testing ground, and in game decides to be super wonky. We'd have to go into a lobby to test that. But if this works, this is mean and it's savage. It is brutal. It
you
is,
wanna
and even
test it?
then, you could, and even yeah, we can test it. And the other option, oh, I'd have to save. The other
you could
option is
actually
even if you're
do
not
the event
running,
queue. That's a pretty good test.
X pulses, you could just run um, even if you're not running X pulses, you can run standards. Who am I inviting? Derp, 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 derp.
Raider.
Trader. I don't see a trader on my list. Oh, traitor.
XX
XX
Trader.
Trader XX,
Oh
because
my
for the
gosh.
ultra edginess.
For the
It
ultra
is
Much better.
it
90s.
is a, I think, 10-plus-year-old gamer tag that I just stuck with it.
Yeah, it checks out. All right, eeny,
Hey,
meeny,
Delta Spectra.
miny, Steiner. All right. Full teams, absolutely no. Oh,
Hey,
and I'm gonna set the timer to 10 minutes in case shenanigans.
Hmm. Oh yeah, do you remember where you needed premium in order to disable full team?
You
Do you
need
know the days?
Oh yeah, don't worry,
premium.
we're getting to those. We're getting to those. The Blackjack 3 and the Arrow. We're just figuring things out here first.
there's a
What are
science
they?
experiment happening.
For science.
For science.
All right,
Knowledge.
so this is the closest, or this is actual live servers with 8 medium X pulses with cooldown nodes and beam duration, which means if we're going to be getting ghost heat, now is the time. So stand by for a little bit of science on my end.
I gotta go, guys. I'll
Take it easy,
I
catch you
dude.
all later.
just
Later.
Ludo, thanks for coming by.
Later.
It's always good to see you, bro.
All right, 7% heat, just like before.
hmm.
Even while moving, I get 7 or 8%. This is fine. All right, now I'm shooting. Yeah, it's consistent. There's no ghost heat, but it is hot as balls. It is working in the Arizona sun levels of hot. It is working in a smelting factory levels of hot. Or hello there.
Yeah,
Rah.
Quiz, for a second I thought you were talking about a blackjack that had like its Mecha Vishnu form or something.
Ugh.
You know, for our Venture Brother fans.
Does this?
What was that?
What the?
Excuse me,
Oh, I
it was
forgot my
Mecha
overlay.
Shiva.
I died.
Mecha Shiva.
You forgot over optimization.
Yeah, I was so focused on the science, I forgot the habits.
Maybe they
Anyone been
fixed
doing
it.
the medium event?
That's what we're talking about.
Yep, we're live on
What have you
stream.
been having
Just
success with, or
well,
have
That
you?
we're currently in
yeah,
discussions right now.
we are
So
streaming.
Oh, is that the
on,
blackjack you're talking about?
yeah,
the Blackjack 1X with medium X pulses. I feel that it's a bit too hot to get to do what it needs to do.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good
if you
for
like fire
peeking out.
6s instead of
Sure.
8s, I think you'd be okay. Because I've been firing 6s on this thing, and you get an extra couple shots off before max heat.
Fire 6s?
Fire 6 X pulses instead of
Oh,
8.
okay. Well, if that's the case, then why are you running a Blackjack 1X?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there's literally no point.
The whole okay, so trying to at this point it is less of running the mech for what it does and more of just jamming other loadouts that work. Like we could totally make it just medium pulses and small lasers and it wouldn't cook itself. But that's pretty wild that it cooks that hard in spite of that much heat reduction.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty intense.
I mean, but at the same time, it's a medium, a 45 tonner that is running the same loadout as a Battlemaster, and
That's fair.
yeah, it's obviously meant for peek and poke, and not for
This
brawl.
is I think this is going to be one that you unfortunately take into quick play
Yeah.
because it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it is fantastic for quick play, but I think it's not.
Hell,
It's gonna have.
I've
It's
seen it
gonna
used in
struggle.
comp.
Well, yeah, it's good for comp, good for quick play, but I think this one's gonna struggle for the arena. Blackjack 3, you have PPC bonuses. There's PPC heat generation. PPCs are hot as fuck. And unfortunately, you cook in the arena and you generally lose.
Yeah.
Anything with flamers will counter you. Anything that gets in your face and doesn't let you cool down will counter you. So, unfortunately, I think the Blackjack 3 is also going to be one of those ones that if you
Well,
bring it, it
Konglord
would
seems
really,
to be
really struggle.
standing by the 6 light PPC build.
Oh, 6 light peeps? Oh, okay. Light peeps I found are an uptime measure. I don't think light peeps would hold up to something running it.
Light peeps are hot. Like, quite hot.
I like to heavy PPC pop tart.
Yeah, the heavy PPC Pop Tart is quite legit. And it can
It is fun.
it can do some serious work. But yeah, for the
heavy
arena,
peep, ERP, yeah. I think that one. I think this is unfortunately one of the ones that get silenced. There are a lot of good arena mechs, but unfortunately that ain't one of them. This is one of them. You slap 6 heavy machine guns and 3 medium X pulses onto a blackjack arrow, and you're gonna hurt someone.
With the dual
yeah,
X large poles.
this
built.
is a certified Royal
No,
Star mech.
we're talking.
He absolutely adores this mech in all
We
of
start
its
with
forms.
arena loadouts, then we move into quick play. Let's keep it consistent for that. This is good for quick play. I think it will be able to mess people up in the arena, and it is a compy favorite. If you pick up one of these blackjack arrows, you will probably have a good time.
Have we had a
And
single comp match in the past 2 seasons where a blackjack arrow was not used at least once?
the double snub 6 mag shot needs to also be brought to attention. I feel that it is too hot for the arena, but it is certainly serviceable in quick play. If unfortunately, I feel like if they changed the heat, to laser heat, or change the range to actually no, the range stays fine. If they change the heat to laser heat, it would absolutely annihilate that build or that loadout because 10% heat off of snubs is kind of a big deal, not gonna lie. Like the arrow is just a fantastic platform for it. Heat, like just generalized heat, generalized range. You don't it does the build doesn't ask the loadout doesn't ask for much. It's a good performer on its own.
Might I suggest the idea that,
Oh,
and
bro.
for any Cauldron men that are watching, like, add to the heat reduction that it already has a
Huh?
PPC heat reduction. And that way you don't unbalance it so that it gets way too much uptime for the laser builds. But it can then actually use the PPC builds more effectively.
Oh, well, I mean, at that point, you might as well just say, hey, can we just generalize the laser cooldown into everything cooldown? I think that would
Well,
also just
that's cooldown. I'm talking
buff.
heat.
Yeah.
Like if we up the cooldown, that does nothing to add to the viability of the snub-nose build.
Caldroni, Monkey's Paw buffs the arrow
Yeah.
instead with minus 20% ballistic heat.
Oh God.
Could
I
you
mean, hold
imagine
on.
these things
That
rolling
actually
out
might
with
do
like,
something for the mag shot.
yeah, that would, yeah, the mag,
Oh
if that's exactly what I was
shit.
talking about. And then you start seeing them roll out with like
With twin
light
ultra 20s.
twos, with light twos and light peeps.
Yeah, actually. Huh.
That would be funny.
That would be really funny, actually.
Oh man, monkey's paw interpretations are always fun. It's a good exercise in creative thinking. But yeah, if you take this into the arena, you might see some success with snubshot. But definitely medium X pulse and heavy machine guns, you'll be able to chew through someone's leg pretty good. Um, the Black Yak 2, missiles and okay, 4 missile hard points, 2 energy. Anyone that looks at that and says, I am not thinking about snubs and SRMs, is probably kidding themselves. General heat reduction, general cooldown, general range, yeah, missile velocity. This thing is the snubs arms just sounds like a natural fit for this thing. And I would I feel like that's just yeah.
Well, if we might go over to my screen real quick, I remember that
Uh-huh.
Dusk and I experimented on this thing a lot a while back, just coming up with weird builds.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could fit the wait. The Griffin runs are actually good engine. You might be able to fit 4 SRM6 Artemis onto this
Hold
thing.
on, let me pull up mine.
Yeah.
I'm transitioning off of your screen. Stand by.
Sorry, I realized the thing that I had to go to was not that important.
Oh, okay, awesome. What are we on, the Blackjack 2?
Blackjack 2, last of the Blackjacks.
Okay, so when messing with this, we found that it was way too hot. Also, that's bugging me. Heatsink should
In
always
spite
be
of
at
the
the
heat
bottom.
reduction. Okay.
Okay, so 4 SRM4s, 2 snubs, and it's still kind of hot at 1.12. Like, watch how fast this thing overheats. Like,
So
it doesn't want to do the things that it's meant to do.
So what was the intention behind that the not the build but the mech itself? Like what was that? What was its original goal in that case?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
To get in close and get right up against some piece of terrain and Pop-Tart.
So the build that you have here with the snub nose and the SRM frozen should
Or maybe
technically
not.
in theory be perfect for it.
Oh, maybe. Let's see what happens.
I have a dumber idea. So, question, right?
Uh-huh.
Answers.
Answers. If you load up an XL 225, only a single jump jet, unfortunately, you're only allowed the barest bare bones one floating heat sink for a total of 10. You can load an 4 SRM-6 Artemis with 2.5 tons of ammo. Is that enough?
2.5? Hardly. For
Yeah.
you kind of need like a ton per SRM for sixes.
Maybe, but we're talking about 1v1 duels.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's gonna be
Yeah.
so hot, man.
But with SRMs are a lot less toasty without the snubs.
Oh, so just the
Oh,
SERMs.
yeah, we're talking the
No
Griffin
snubs at
2N
all.
loadout. We're taking the tonnage from the snubs and putting them into Artemis.
Oh, wow.
Or
I've never
SRM-6
considered that.
Artemis. I'm just ripping off the Griffin 2N right here.
You're a good boy.
I mean, it's not a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's a pretty darn good idea in the general sense. I just don't really know how it would fare.
I don't know if it's enough ammo.
Okay, here,
I
let
mean,
me
if
go
you're
over to
using
your
it
screen.
if you're using it for a 1v1 duel, then yeah, I think you can get away with it, assuming you know what you're doing.
All right, we're now looking at Chair Glue's screen.
All right, I'm
The
gonna
only
run this thing
difference
at
here is I
triple.
think not everybody's like Sneaky Snake.
Yeah.
What? Nah, man, this thing. Okay, so these are SRM that you just plunk into someone's face.
And
Not staring
being
like this, you gotta twitch
SERM
though.
6 plus Artemis,
More.
you can operate at the edge of your range much more effectively.
Yeah, missiles reach their
It
maximum
doesn't
spread at
seem
70
very
meters.
impressive.
So, well, I'm just testing it because
Yeah.
because I've taken out the cataphract with a mist splat off to the side,
Your
and I still
cooling is
have
okay.
like a ton of ammo left.
Yeah, it does run colder than
Yeah.
with.
This
It's
one's really freaking cool though.
not that cool.
No, not in comparison to the Griffin.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather have a Jenner.
Uh,
Mm.
I mean, without the snubs, especially.
I think there's enough ammo for one mech. Unless you miss a
Oh,
bunch of shots.
Kong Lord had something to add. I'm not Cauldron, but I cry about Cauldron. I missed that, but Arrow is the best ERPPC Pop-Tart right now for comp.
Plus range, plus heat reduction, plus cooldown. Checks out.
What?
yeah,
Huh.
that math is mathing.
Actually, no. It uses the hip pocket mounts, but
I mean, but they're
the
right
math
beside.
is
They're just
math
under the
is
cockpit.
mathing.
They're still
yeah,
good.
they're just under the cockpit. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's also really good convergence too.
Yeah. I absolutely see that, Kong Lord. Huh.
That's
Wait,
freaking
what's the
weird.
range bonus?
10%.
Holy crap, really? Okay.
No velocity bonus, but you do get range and heat reduction.
Good job.
Does it really matter if it needs the velocity bonus
It's
when it's got range?
Uh,
Is that something that needs to be like hand in hand?
Well, there's also the fact that you don't have to just run peeps on it. You can run still, like you can probably large pulses are 7 tons. ER peeps, wait, aren't large pulses like 7 tons?
I think large pulse is 7 tons and ERPPC is 6?
Is 7 tons.
7 tons.
Just take the frickin' standard loadout and swap out the large pulses for frickin'
ERPPCs.
You swap out the large pulses for ER peeps. Maybe if you feel like you're not going to be engaging at mid range, swap out the light machine guns for standards, and now you've got some short range backup weapon. Maybe
Or you can lean pretty hard into it, and instead of drop the heavy machine guns and go like mag shots. Actually, let me throw that together. Let's see what
You
that
don't
looks
have the
like.
hard point. You don't have the critical slots for that. Oh, actually, you run into the hard point or the crit slot issues with just the ER peeps. I had to pull half a ton of LMG ammo already. But leg armor. I mean, we could be cheeky
Oh,
bastards and
okay, let me catch us up on. Okay, I think Arrow not so good for 1v1 if you play some stair build. Okay.
Yeah.
You just lose to better stair like the Bushwhacker. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Need to play out of the box like Kite with PPC. I mean, is that
Got
really
it.
outside of the box? Like, I feel like
No,
Kite is.
not outside of the box. Play.
Oh,
Wait, I don't know if
outside.
that's playing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
either play like the loadout that you get fresh out of the box, or it might be outside.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
really all over
know.
the place.
Outside,
Outside,
yes.
yes. Okay, good.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll post it in the chat in the Discord. I think I actually got it.
Mm,
Oh, here, stream your screen and I'll show it.
all right.
Hold on,
After the
hold on.
Black Yak.
Hold on. I'm showing what okay, stand by. And going to Red Phoenix. Watch stream.
Alright, fellas, I'm gonna hop off.
Alright, man. Well, Trader, thank you for
Later,
hanging
man.
out with us. And yeah,
Same.
we will see you next time we see you.
Alright, have a good one.
Cheers,
Cheers.
bro.
Nothing's shaved. Nothing's barely shaved. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
this is possible.
actually, Kong, is this what you were talking about?
Because it looks possible. You like it's pretty pop tarty, like with the 3 jump jets.
Yeah, actually.
And like absolute worst, I take like one off the head here, slap it on the center torso, and you can really go. You can really go trading hard. The best loadout actually.
Hmm?
Huh.
Oh shoot! I just realized we have a
Let
scrim
me test
tonight,
this.
and we've
Let me
only made
test
it to
this.
the blackjack.
Yep, that's part of why I'm trying to hustle us.
Yeah, it's okay. We might need to finish
Yeah,
tomorrow.
just you guys could switch back. I want to see what this hoppy
All right.
blackjack will do.
But I mean, like 2
Unless like
PPC, light PPC, 5 heavy machine guns, and play kite, and try at least orange the enemy CT before he shoots if it's brawl. Wait. 2 ERPPC, oh,
let me get the
LMG Medium X Pulse is the best build for comp. It's crazy OP. Okay, yeah. But you said 2 PPC, 2 light or 1 light PPC, 6 heavy machine guns. Oh, 2 PPC, not ER PPCs. Okay, got it.
Oh, those are the same tonnage. They just don't run as hot.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
think this is
yeah,
actually pretty good.
that way you can run 3 PPCs with the little kicker from the ERP or the light peep. So that makes sense. Just writing that down for my decks. Yeah, I mean
This might
that's
be a strategy, Gunraptor. We might have to test this. This is actually pretty good.
okay. The arrow
Standard
goes
peep and
into every drop deck. Yes, it does. As I was saying earlier. On
standard
paper,
peeps
15
and
DPS
mag
on a
shots.
Pop Tart. Yeah.
This is hitting pretty hard for a pop tarty kind of thing.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and switch us back to let me take us off of this stream and and transition off of your screen and over to chair glues so that we can continue with the evaluation. Damn it, Alt Tab.
The Black Lantern, I want to really like the Black Lantern. The Black Lantern is really good at running people down. but I think unfortunately smashes into the
Oh,
Rochambeau
hold on.
problem.
I haven't gotten you back online yet.
I'm just rambling.
I know you are, but I want the
Just
viewers
being
to
chill.
be able to
I need
see
to see it.
your discordant rambling because it's content.
They can't.
Okay,
But
there
it's
we
not
go.
seeing it. It's hearing me.
All right, we are now looking at your discordant rambles.
I think this might be a traitor.
I could have been in the store rambling, silly. Anyway,
Yes.
moving on. So for SRM6, I really want to like it, but unfortunately, it is over engine under gun, which is kind of a Rochambeau thing where it just slams its head into better brawl. Like I feel like this just loses to a bushwhacker. Um, it's kind of a Rochambeau deal of brawl, kite, and um, fast brawl. And I feel like this one hits fast brawl. The Black Lantern only has, if you armor up the arms, has like 12 tons of 12 open tons to play with. Actually, I need to remove a heat sink and put points into other things. Anyway, so the Black Lantern in all of its forms doesn't have a lot of tonnage to put into firepower. That being said, for on quick play, special note to the Blackjack A set of 8 with its absolutely redonkulous frickin' 10% range, 20% velocity, and 30% heat reduction on PPCs. Like slap 2 ER peeps on that and never overheat.
I mean,
Did you just say the Blackjack A, or do you mean the
Or
Black
Black
Lantern?
Lantern A.
the Black
Yeah.
Lantern using ERPs is a very old comp meta build.
It is.
From like
It's very,
what year
very
was that?
old.
2021?
Well, the Black Lantern A is fit for it. It doesn't have any cooldown reduction, but at 30% heat reduction, go nuts.
Hold on.
You get range, velocity.
Let me look at mine real quick because I remember I also have I used to give that mech a lot of use.
I'm actually saving this.
Armor,
This is actually
damage,
really
speed,
good.
pick 2. I pick Kolos. Your argument is invalid.
Lantern. Yeah, it's definitely the Black Lantern A, and you side load it onto the left side. So
totally
that way you can dead
don't have
side.
to. I am absolutely cursed with dead sides where I will lose that side. So I actually, if you look in the store, you will see.
Oh, lost him for a second.
Pit.
Sorry, it cut out for a moment. What did you say? If you look in the store, what?
More. If you look in the store or just fit it on the Black Lantern A set of 8, you will find that the right arm is basically cockpit level.
Yes, it is.
So you get really good vertical lines, even if the convergence isn't as like. Actually, convergence is more related to the distance to the cockpit. Yeah, I think right arm, left torso is just better.
The Kolos. Damn it! I don't want to say it's broken, but it might be. I like it too much.
Oh, sorry, that was me talking about Gwiz and his comment to above that. He said armor, damage, speed, pick 2, and I said
Yep.
I pick Kolos. Your argument is invalid.
Yes.
Yeah, for most mechs, you get 2 out of 3, unless you're getting some weird trooper.
Okay,
nonsense.
so if I might hop in real quick. Godot is telling me that despite it raining outside, that it is time for me to take care of little puppers. So let me hand everything off to you, and I will make this a very quick outing. We won't be like going our full distance, obviously, since it's raining. So yeah,
I could easily jump in the banter too for a little bit.
Could you help Cherglue watch the chat as he often forgets to?
That's fine. I'm basically on it right now. I literally just dropped
the only way that I'll be able to chat while I'm gone. All right.
Okay.
I will be back, and thank you guys.
Gotcha.
Yep. There are a number of other like compy loadouts that mostly involve red lasers. Unfortunately, I tried some testing with red laser and machine gun mix. Despite the fact that the machine guns run cooler, losing the heat sinks ultimately tanks your sustained output. Um, there are some folks that do some shenanigans with missiles, but again, this is mostly based around having to run your opponents down at 100 to 150 kph.
So you're gonna be what is it like? That is for missiles. You're thinking like what SRMs in this case? I'm
You
assuming.
can fit 4 SRM 6s and like actually, you don't even
Yeah,
need 3 tons of ammo because you get ridiculous bonus ammo per ton for these side torsos. Yeah, you get like plus 60 missiles per ton
Jesus
or
fuck.
plus 30, which is a quarter of a ton. Yeah, so if you fit 4 missile torsos, you get quadruple ammo per ton. Or no,
That's
quadruple.
pretty
You
good.
get quadruple that, and it's a quarter, so you get double ammo per ton. Mathing is hard when you have the dumb. But yeah, you get
I
double
also
ammo per
threw I
ton.
also threw that Blackjack Arrow ERPPC to like Pop Tarty trade build in the chat if anybody wants to steal that and
Uh,
science the crap out of that. I don't care.
Gun, you are set to your screen. Unless my thing just needs to refresh.
I'm refreshing and yeah, I'm not seeing
Ruh-roh, Gun.
Rutro.
All right. Well, we can still yammer.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think the Black Lantern is mostly regulated to mostly comp, and even then, it's kind of fallen out of the limelight. But as I said, special mention to the Black Lantern A. That set of 8 is absolutely
I
wild.
fixed
Have
it. It's
fun
on
with
your
that.
screen now.
Good
I
to
go.
go. The Black Lantern A is a good time. All right. Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. I tried it before when it was only like 15% heat and it was good then. And then they gave it like 25 and it was amazing. And you at 25, even firing almost constantly, I would have like one moment where I'd have like one or two drops points in a match where I'd hit the overheat and I just need to cool my jets for a moment. And with 30%, like it just go ham. Just go nuts. Try not to go too nuts because then you get shot back more, but it's absolutely like the uptime ERP mech of choice. Um Bushwhackers. All right. The X1. All right. So the first one on the
Oh,
list. Four ballistic hard points, double machine gun rate of fire, splat-tastic with some SRMs, and then your choice of an energy hard point in the CT. You can stick a medium pulse, a medium X pulse. Actually, medium X pulse is probably better with the machine guns. Or you can be a jerk and load a flamer in there. Some folks run a snub, they want to go alpha, but as I said, there's a lot of meanness that can come out of the X1.
I feel like I feel like the Bushwhackers in a general sense are just good
Yeah.
mechs. Period.
The Bushwhacker X1 is just a really strong contender on pretty much any of the brawl maps. It's gonna do it really well, and if you want to be really, really cheeky, uh, even on Boreal, where people will think, oh, just maybe I'll run a lighter rip off all of that armor and stick an XL 300 in that thing and run at people at 104, and they'll never see it coming. All
Just
right.
blap them. Just drive by.
Like Bushwhacker, like the X1 brawl capacity running at someone at 104 is kind of absurd. All right.
Yeah.
It
You
is
just
XL.
drive by them and just be like, okay, cool, and machine gun your back torso.
It is XL, but it also says, oh, you want to run ballistics? Well, you get like 3 free shots and it's brawl time. Let's go. All right. Yeah. So that is an option on the XL plate. Now, there are some folks that will have funsies in quick play with light machine guns and MRMs. I've tried it. It's totally functional. It's not quite my cup of tea, but it definitely works. Um,
I think I could have SRM 4s instead of what you have.
and especially in quick play, we've been doing some experimentation with like 3 AC5s and a light PPC, I think it was. With that
Right.
velocity bonus, it is so easy to land those shots. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have crazy rate of fire, but in quick play, where fights often drag out a little longer, that's pretty nice.
And you're not firing from basically the main line. You're kind of finding an elevated position just to try and throw some pot shots into the fight.
Yeah, you're a bushwhacker. You can do whatever.
That's true.
You can stand next to a direwolf. You can stand next to a Kodiak. You can stand. I mean, admittedly, you don't see a lot of Kodiaks. You could stand next to a freaking Atlas. Like, if I were a freaking, that velocity means that plinking off, especially like faster mediums, plinking off faster mediums to keep that, to allow that guy to keep his armor forward is kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like that's just a really fun mech. The X2. All right. The X2 has basically the same hard points, but instead runs laser duration. What? It has laser duration minus 50%, but only 2 energy hard points in the CT.
Is this the one that
I'm not a huge fan of that.
could you just run the X pulses with like some sort of like rack or something?
I mean, you could. You could run, like, I don't know, maybe.
Because I think that's what I have.
Yeah, that checks out. The laser duration is really the big seller, but on two, and I feel like this was them dipping their toes in wild quirks, kind of like how they've been doing how they did that with the never jamming racks. They did it on like 3 mechs that are not going to go too insane because they've only got 1 hard point, or it's in the case of the Battle Master, it's in the arm with a hand actuator, so you only get 8 critical slots.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because I
I
mean
feel
the
like
Irby's fun. I can understand on the Irby because haha, that's funny.
it's
Because
also that the Irby is limited by tonnage.
yeah.
So I feel like those were some experimentations. This was dipping into absurd laser duration, while also I think they were also dipping on it for light mechs.
Do you think
I
they were playing a little too conservative with this one?
I absolutely think so. 10% cooldown seems completely underwhelming for the rest of the package. Um, eh, Yeah. I feel like the rest of the package, it's I mean, it really wants the lasers, but kind of like, let's be honest, like, aside from machine guns and rotaries, what are you sticking laser? What sort of ballistics are you sticking lasers with? Never mind, that's Gauss. Anyway,
I mean, you could just go, yeah, like you could just go
wait a
ER.
minute. Could you fit 2 Gauss rifles on? No, 2 Gauss rifles is a.
I mean,
I
I
was going
have
to
a
say,
puppet too.
could you fit 2 Gauss? Could you fit if this was a clan mech? I'd say could you fit 2 Gauss rifles? Like a single ER large and 2 light Gauss? Question mark. I would no. I was able to fit 2 light Gauss on the X1 to play with velocity, and that was underwhelming and extremely difficult to fit. So it would be like one standard Gauss and a ER large, silver bullet, and a large pulse, maybe.
I've got the puppet too, and I was just like, I just wanted to see what if it would just fit it. You
Oh,
can
the
technically
P2.
put like the
Okay,
puppet too. You can
the
fit
P
the light Goss on it, but I don't know.
The P2 is, folks love running racks on it. Personally, I feel like it is better with ultras. Ultras are
Yeah.
probably better for duels anyway. Um, you
I,
can
I
run,
play this thing more in QP than anything else really.
yeah, it's definitely a solid quick play mech, especially with either which way you run it, either the racks or the ultras.
Yeah.
Um,
And like the ultras, yeah, and I do like the idea of the ultras because because of the jam duration is nice, and you can just go hard on it. and plus the racks just ramp down so much quicker. So yeah, you got a bit of a spin up time, but let's be honest with you, you know how to compensate with that spin up time. You just pre-fire the fucking corner.
The racks issue is that you're not going to. I feel like the main issue with the racks is that you're gonna have trouble putting down your opponents before you jam or need to let the rack cool down, and at that point you lose.
Yeah.
In quick play, you do get those downtime moments that allow you to get away with that. Similar deal for the jams. In quick play, you jam, you pull back to your team, it's fine. Even if the downtime is lower, you get to pull back a bit. You double jam in this thing against a duel, and you've basically given up 3 bullets. Or you've given up like 3 volleys.
Mm-hmm.
Which will absolutely flatline you. Yeah, I think that the P2 will struggle in duels. The P1, okay, so the P1 has a classic loadout of 6 SRM6s with Artemis.
Gwiz is saying AC20 and a Lord's Pulse for one
Yeah,
of the builds. I think it's the X2.
yeah, the X2 large AC20 large pulse. Yeah, the quirks on the X2 are unfortunate. I think they were trying for something a little off of the wall, and unfortunately, that spaghetti didn't stick. All of the others, they did pretty well. I'm a little sad that they removed the range and velocity bonuses off of the P2, to be honest,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I had a Gauss rifle and 3 BR larges.
I do like the fact that they did. I do miss the
Yeah.
fact that they did that, and I got to play around with that, and like just jamming the 2 racks and in there.
Yeah.
But like now I'm running it with racks and small X pulses, and I feel like you could just not like you're not the tip of the spear. You're kind of the second mech coming around the corner, but you're the one slinging lead downrange like faster than anybody else in there, and you're giving your team like a plenty of time to reposition while you blap the enemy like a mad dog.
I feel as though the S2 is not a bad mech, but having the ballistic in the arm and having half of your missiles in the other arm means that it's not going to be doing nearly as much big brawly nonsense.
Yeah, because
Hey,
it's
wow, is
no
that a
it's I
hand
feel like it's
activate?
no Crusader level. No, not
Oh my
Crusader. It's
gosh.
no Centurion level shenanigans like that.
Yeah, you're not pulling Centurion level shenanigans. You might be able to pull something with like an AC20, a snub, and a pair of SRMs. Maybe? Question mark. Um, but actually, yeah, that would be about comparable weight to 4 SRMs.
Hmm.
You probably need to be stuck running XL in that, unfortunately. But
True.
it is I feel like the cooldown is a little lackluster compared to a lot of the other a lot of the other mechs, such as wait a minute. Actually, I don't really have that nut. Two nuts. Hmm. Um, the LB cooldown, the biggest LB you can fit into the arm of the P1 is an LB10. I feel like that's a big ol' miss. Uh, I think that the P1 is gonna stick to good old Splatwhacker loadouts of either 4 SRM or 6 SRM6 Artemis, or 4 SRM6 Artemis and a snub.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome back.
Yeah, this Discord update. Sorry.
Shenanigans. The S2 I feel is a similar deal with the ballistic cooldown, just general ballistic cooldown in the arm. I feel like that one's going to be a bit of a. You can't fit a 20 in there. The biggest thing you can fit is a 10, and I don't think you're bringing 10s to this field. AC 10s combined with 1 or 2 hard point center torso or 1 or 2 slot center torso lasers plus missiles, like you have to use the missiles in that. And unfortunately, um, missiles are the MRMs are not in the greatest spot right now for dueling.
Yeah.
Like they can absolutely drill a hole through you if they get up to you, but the rate of fire is a little not is a little lackluster. The high roller. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I am not familiar with the high roller as a mech.
I
Like
don't know.
what
I
it
have
does.
never owned it, so
I've
I don't.
never owned it. I do know that people who do own it love it.
I always feel like when I look at something like the high roller, I'm just like, okay, well, what are we gonna put on this thing?
Well, you do have laser heat generation, and you actually have 3 energy hardpoints in the left arm, which is you have 1 in the CT and 3 in the left arm. The left arm it looks perfectly fine. Like you have 3 ballistic hardpoints, you have 4 energy. There's only 1 missile, and I think that's fine.
Do you just ignore the
The
missile hardpoint at this rate?
what's that?
Do you like ignore the missile hardpoint at this rate?
I think you ignore the missile hardpoint,
Yeah,
honestly.
I kind of
But
figured.
with laser heat generation, range plus 10, laser heat. Honestly, with range plus 10% and laser heat generation, you can honestly slap a Gauss rifle and 3 larges into this thing for quick play.
Oh, okay. So you could use that as like a long range trader in that
You
regard.
can, absolutely can. Um, I had a P2 built that way, so I know for certain you can fit it into this thing. It's not going to go fast. You're going to be moving at assault like 60, you're going to be moving at like 65.
I mean, for a
But
mech that's,
it's
I
a
mean, for a mech
lot of
that small, there's going to be a lot of people who not are not going to see you.
it's a lot of guns. And
Yeah.
especially if you change the color palette just a wee bit, they're not going to aim for that bright orange target in the middle of your mech. The orange is unfortunately a bullseye. It might
Yeah.
as well be red. Uh, that would actually be the funniest thing ever to replace the orange with red, the green with white, and the blue with probably blue or black. Um, yeah, you could totally make a bullseye target out of the front of the the high roller. But aside
Mm.
from that, I mean, 3 ballistics, son of a bitch. You could stick goodness. You could probably fit like I
Can you
mean,
go
it's close
binaries?
to the tonnage of a frickin' it's close to the it's 10 tons lighter than the catapult K2, and it has most of the hard points in the body. It's just like short 1 energy hard point. You could definitely downsize some catapult K2 builds into this mech, like 2 LB10s and a snub. Sounds like it could probably fit. Um, Actually, I think that would be a struggle on the engine a bit. I mean, if you go for 2 LB10s and a light PPC, that would absolutely, I think that would absolutely fit. Uh, but these are like quick play loadouts that I'd be conjuring up.
So nothing on the comp side of things.
Yeah, the comp, I don't see much of it going on with the. It's unfortunately comp tends to lean if you're going for long range, if you're going for range max, you're generally leaning into super light, super heavy combination. You're putting as much tonnage, weapon tonnage, as you can into your long range mechs and leaving your lights as night fighters. There's this weird scaling where going from a 20-ton clan mech with a reasonable engine gain to a 100-ton clan mech, even as a battle mech with a reasonable engine, um, you get 5 times the amount of health, base health values, but you get 8 times the amount of open tonnage. So being able to scale that open tonnage into long range guns is generally preferred for those maps. I don't know if the scaling is linear. I'd have to poke at it some more, but it probably is, or at least is pretty close. Um, it also might look a little differently for IS mechs, but it's probably not too far off. Big mechs will have a lot more open tonnage for guns. And I feel like that's probably why we're seeing a lot of. I mean, if it's linear, then just tonnage is tonnage is tonnage, and using up as much tonnage as possible is fine. But that's. Anyway, that's distracted by compy, theory, crafting, number, napkin math. Overall, Bushwhacker is a strong contender. I feel like the X1 is going to be just good everywhere you use it. I feel like the P2 with its ultras might stand a chance on Boreal, especially with like 2 Ultra 5s and a plasma cannon. Just put rounds downrange. Centurions. The Centurion is a classic brawler. Uh, let's get the Nutso one off of the field. The Onyx. Honestly, Onyx is less guns because of that tonnage in the shield. The Onyx says, I will outskill you and I will block your shots. Or at least block some of the shots. I will be mitigating your damage to outskill you. Considering the possible loadouts, the shoulder, upper arm actuator, there's no lower arm actuator or hand actuator. You can fit an AC-20 in there. You could pull like a Yenlo Wang and pull an AC-20 snub loadout. I suspect that more likely folks will run something more like double snub and a light 5. But it's still the burden of execution is gonna be on the Onyx user. There's also the matter that the Centurions are infamous for being headshot. They are one of the most commonly headshot mechs in the medium category alongside the Shadowhawk and the Hunchback. So that's a little rough. The armament that most of them bring into play is very respectable, though. Especially with them bringing big, big honkin', uh, 10% cooldown with their loadout. They can very, very often fit a 20 into their arm. Doesn't look like that's the case with the A with its lower arm actuator. But you can definitely fit a snub and triple SRM6 Artemis into this thing and not have to worry about your arm, which is kind of a big deal when you're brawling. A lot of folks will think, oh, Centurion, just shoot off the arm. But the A is going to be shooting at you with missiles. Hello? Oh, dear. Brad? Okay, Red, I'm sorry. I'm going to be moving you. All right. It appears that Red has accidentally fallen asleep. Moving along, the AL is laser dependent, very heavy laser dependent. Lasers again struggle in the arena, except with like ER larges on Boreal. That was an interesting thing. The heat. I feel like the AH is fun for quick play. It's solid for quick play, but it's going to struggle in the arena because of the heat generation, even with a 15% heat reduction. Um, the Delta. All right. A lot of folks know the Delta with double LB5s and a light PPC. Some folks will swear by the LB2 and run double LB2 and run a light engine. I think you need the firepower. Folks that see this are going to either go for your arm or they're going to drill through your CT because you have to stare at them. with the lower arm actuator, you can't fit an LB20. Honestly, a double rate of fire or a nearly double rate of fire LB20. Is it double? No, it's 50%. A nearly plus 50% rate of fire LB20 on it would be absolutely hilarious, and I would love to see that, but I don't think that's going to happen. But as it stands, I think this is a funsy quick play mech. That's not going to see a lot of. It's not going to see a lot in the arena because it is an uptime. Its damage is produced through uptime, and it needs that uptime rather than hello, bam, done. Yeah, like a lot of fights are decided pretty quickly in the arena. The Yenlo Wang has an interesting advantage with its 25% cooldown reduction. While it isn't quite as punchy as some of the other contestants, the 25% cooldown reduction means that it can hit you when you're not ready and it desyncs from you for the fight. Like it has the option to desync from you by just firing faster than you, which is really, really nice for the big guns that it has. If you fire at him and he fires at you and all things being equal, and then he just starts plinking his frickin' and you start guarding and he starts plinking his snub into you, he's going to get that AC20 off before you get a good beat, unless you're like super snapshotting, before you can get a good CT beat on him if you're running something like a dervish. So he gets to start twisting before he gets his shot off. He gets to start twisting before you. This is a skill check. This is a skill check mech probably for both players. The AH. No lower arm actuator. You're going to see a big gun in that arm. Ultra jam chance, it's probably going to be an Ultra 20. I've heard folks talk about my voice. That I have the kind of voice that they would put onto a podcast while they go to fall asleep. I don't know whether I should be flattered or feel like that's a problem.
I took a nap in your assault video.
Uh-oh.
My calming voice.
All right, let's call it calming. That's complimentary. An Ultra 20 and 3 SRM6s is what you're going to see on this thing because of its lack of energy hardpoint. This thing...
All right, I'm about to head out, y'all. So I will see y'all on the other side. Please remember to look at chat every so often.
Yep. That's now my duty. All right. So the CH, with an Ultra 20, getting that double tap, getting the SRMs out, I feel like it is definitely very, very punchy. It has I haven't seen how well it fared since the torso twist speed update. We haven't really seen them in the arena afterwards. I feel like this is a solid. I feel like this thing will definitely, if it doesn't win, it's going to at least open you up. I feel like it's gonna at least put up a fight. It might not be like super mega top tier, but it will damn well bloody your nose in the process. Oh boy, the cicada. So as much as I really like the Ultra 5 cicada, that's a lot of fun. As much as I like throwing some laser vomit onto a cicada and running around with that ECM in quick play, I feel like the cicada in general just probably does not perform well. It is a box. It is a freaking box. That is, yeah, like it's a block. The two main ones that I feel to bring up though are the 2 Bravo. You can slap 5 medium pulses into it and 130 kph engine and just run at people. Right, it's more like 135, 140 kph now. It's kind of wild after skills. You get to run at people really, really fast. Kiting on maps like Steiner will be damn near impossible if somebody decides to bring one of these. Right up there with like a Viper. Their loadouts tend to be a bit on the lighter side, or cicadas generally have loadouts leaning towards the lighter side. Except for like the medium pulse SRM X5, which is strangely punchy. But I feel compared to the bigger outputs of like the Dervish Frenzy, I feel like it just gets splatted. It will have trouble surviving the initial output of a lot of the bigger mechs. Hello?
Sorry.
Life happens.
Yeah. I'm not used to getting up at 4 in the morning to do stuff and then trying to survive the rest of the day.
I've hit the cicadas. I feel like cicadas, their blocky nature and the brawl circumstances that most of them will be forced into will not allow them to shine with their hit and run energy weapons. How do you feel on that?
They don't. I don't think they. I don't think they twist well. They show a lot of torso.
Box.
Is box.
Is box. Cicadas are fun for quick play. I cannot recommend one for the duel though.
Mm-hmm.
Much unfortunate. I'm gonna move on. Crabs. Crab battle.
I've never played this thing.
The crabs?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a couple of flavors of crab that roam around. The 27 has a redonkulous plus 60% PPC velocity. You add skills, that's 75%. ER peeps are basically hit scan with this thing. It's kind of silly. The already 2400 velocity ER peeps are hilarious, except that you have to put them into your arms.
Oof.
Yeah. On the other hand, you load 3 snubs into this thing. You can put one into the center torso, right here on this little nose dribble. Uh, dribble. This little nose overhang. And at that point, you have silly, silly funsies. At brawl range, they're basically hit scan weapons. They might have a velocity. You don't care. They basically hit scan. This makes it really, really easy to shoot what you want to shoot. The issue is, again, the arms, conversions. If they get up in your face, you're going to have trouble hitting what you need to hit.
Mm-hmm.
On the plus side, it's going to make flicking shots onto squiggly Arctic wolves and ice ferrets pretty easy. Problem, PPCs, heat. Yeah, energy weapons, heat, super sustain or super requirement on heat. Anything runs at you with a flamer, you're borked. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're just like even without flamers, I feel that it cannot sustain long enough to win a fight. I feel like that's the main weakness of snubs, and that'll come up quite a bit. The King Crab 20, standard laser duration, medium laser range. Okay. This one is again funsies and quick play. You can load up like binaries and ER mediums on it, and is good mech for that. But energy, it's gonna run hot.